to my left, I've got one long diagonal through the body. And as I turn over my right shoulder, I'm going to look down at that right hand. So I'm changing my focus from front down to my hand. Circling over the right shoulder. Then when I circle left, I'm going to switch the arms, switch my focus to the left hand to finish that phrase. Let's try that one more time. Just our circles. Over the right shoulder, 2 counts, switch, left, and around. Let's go back and put that whole thing together. So we have a footwork pattern. 4 skip 2 threes, circle right, circle left, and we have our arm pattern. Let's try our arms just by themselves first. So as if you're taking off a sweater. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you'll have right diagonal for 5 and 6. Left diagonal for 7 and 8. Let's add that, legs and arms together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Diagonal arms as we circle. Diagonal arms as we circle. Awesome. Let's try it one more time. A little faster, and then we'll try it with our music. Here we go. Backing up, getting some space. We've got our right foot pointed, arms are down. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4. Over the right. Right. Over the left. Excellent. Let's try it with the music. Kevin will play for us a lovely tune called the Atholl Highlanders. We'll count to 8 before we start, just to get us into it. Let's take it a nice medium tempo. Ready? And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over the right shoulder. 5, 6, and the left. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Demoya. Let's try it a little bit faster, shall we? Here we go. Right foot pointed. A little faster. We'll do 8 for nothing. Ready? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over the right. 5, 6, 7, 8. Lovely. Thank you, Kevin. Now, that's an example of embellishment. So we have arms that are embellishing a basic Irish step dance pattern. Another idea we work with is called transposing or transposition, where whatever we do with our legs, we try to mimic that shape on top with our body. So, for example, if I do a hop with my right foot, let me turn to the side so you can see that better. Hop, up to my knee with my right foot. My arm shape is going to mimic that. Hop. Try slicing. Hop. So we'll put those two things together, arm and leg, and we'll have hop. Good. Try that. Hop. Nice. Now if we were to do 2 of those in a row, we have our right arm already in the hop position. Why don't we add our left arm? So we'd have hop, 2, 3, hop, 2, 3. So you've got a right and a left. Let's try that again. We're transposing our leg movement into our arm movement. Here we go. Hop, 2, 3, hop, 2, 3. Nice. One more time. Ready? And hop, 2, 3, hop, 2, 3. Now, this one's a little trickier. We're not going to do an exact transposition. Instead, we're going to swing our arms to give us a lot of momentum to help us jump. One great thing about using your arms when you Irish dance, it can help you get higher and jump bigger. Nice, Adamoya. So the third hop, Let's do our first two to get into it. Hop, 2, 3. Hop, 2, 3. Here we go. Hop, 2, 3. So I went V and back. Last thing, I'm going to take a step on my right, do an over 2, 3 on my left, and do one huge jump with both my arms and my legs. Up, down, down. Let me back up so you can see that last thing. Let's go from the start. We'll have hop, 2, 3, hop, 2, 3, hop, 2, 3, step over 2, 3. So my arms really help lift my body in that over 2, 3. And that's a 4 count. Let's try that again. Ready, and hop, 2, 3, hop, 2, 3, hop, 2, 3, step over 2, 3. Why don't we do that 4 count with Calvin playing for us to finish us off here. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ready? Here we go. Hop, 2, 3. Hop, 2, 3. Hop, 2, 3. Step over 2, 3. Good. And I wondered, how are we doing, Jessie? Can we try that whole thing together?
Yeah, you've got 2 minutes.
Perfect. We're going to put it all together now. So let's do our first embellishment. 4 skip 2 3s, circle right, circle left. Then we'll add our transposed arms with our hop series. Here we go. 8 for nothing. Let's back all the way up. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. 5, 6 to the left. Hop series. Hop, 2, 3. Hop, 2, 3. Hop, 2, 3. Step over 2, 3. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. So, what's fun about that idea, I think, is that you can take whatever your favorite Irish dance step is. Jig, reel, hard shoe, whatever your favorite footwork position is. Maybe it's a cut or a spin, and you can figure out your own arms to add to it just to have some fun while you're practicing. Have fun, enjoy. Thank you, Jessie. Thank you, Irish Arts Center.
Thank you, Darrah Carr. And I believe that workshop was also co-led by Darrah's daughter, Edamoya. So thank you, Darrah, Edamoya, and Kevin on fiddle. We are down to our final workshop, and I want to let you know that after this workshop, we'll be having a Q&A session with all of the workshop leaders today. So you may want to start thinking of and sending in your questions on Facebook, in the Facebook or YouTube comments for Danielle, Donny, Darrah, or Niall now. Last but not least, we have a Celtic Tap Improv workshop with the one and only Niall O'Leary. Niall O'Leary is the longtime artistic director of the Irish Arts Centre Dance Festival. He is a former All-Ireland World Champion and will be celebrating 25 years of teaching later this year. He is also in demand as an adjudicator and a musician for Irish dance competitions. In 1996, he put together and choreographed the first ever multinational team to compete in the World Irish Dance Championships. He performs regularly as a solo artist and also with Mick Maloney's Greenfields of America in New York, Mexico, Cuba, and Southeast Asia. O'Leary is currently teaching video classes worldwide, specifically for new beginners or people who have never had a convenient local class to join. You can visit nialloleary.com for more info on online classes. Niall founded the Niall O'Leary School of Irish Dance in Dublin in 1995 and established it in New York in 1996. The Niall O'Leary School of Irish Dance is a community of Irish dancers of all ages who learn up-to-the-minute Irish dance technique, style, and choreography. The school has been featured on NBC TV, Fox 5, CBS Radio, NPR, The New York Times, The Daily News, The Irish Echo, Irish Central, and Fuji TV Japan. In the past 2 years, the school has performed at City Hall, Radio City Music Hall, Carnegie Hall, the New York Supreme Court, and the Jacob Javits Center. And for many years, they've danced and marched in the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade on Fifth Avenue. Niall is also the founder of the Niall O'Leary Irish Dance Troupe, a professional Irish dance company who performs at festivals, showcases, weddings, corporate events, and concerts. The troupe has toured the US and Japan, performing in such prestigious venues as Osaka Festival Hall. The troupe has danced on New York 1, Fox 5, and Good Morning America on St. Patrick's Day. The dancers in the troupe are from Ireland and across the US, but now all live in New York. Together, they blend their influences and experiences to create an exciting Irish dance show combining traditional forms with new choreography. Please welcome Niall O'Leary.
Hi, everyone. Delighted to be here. And today we're going to do some Celtic tap improv. Now, you might well ask me, what in the name of God is Celtic tap improv? Well, it's taking elements of Irish dance and tap dance and combining them in an improvisational way. So it's basically putting together steps as you go along. And so this has been a long time tradition in Sean-nós dancing, which you saw earlier with Danielle. But in Irish dance, obviously the tradition is that you learn a choreography, you perfect it, and then that you present it as it was intended. And I suppose the first person ever to improvise in a feis, in a competition, was the person who forgot their step and just kept going. And there's a lot to be said for that. But today we're looking to show you how you can improvise in an interesting way. And so we're going to take you on a journey. And clearly in these times, it's a virtual journey, a rhythmic exploration. And so we're going to go through some different moves first that you can do. So I'm going to put the camera here on the dance floor so you can see my feet. Now, the most common hard shoe move, we're doing percussive dance, as we said. The most common move is like a treble or a shuffle or a batter, as is known as a cork. And then there's like a tip, and there's a heel and a toe and a stamp and a heel drop. And there's all kinds of click moves and double clicks and all kinds of things. I actually made a list, and there's over 30 different kinds of things you can do. And anyway, so I don't know if you'll get to do all 30, but the idea is when you're improvising to pick some of your favorite moves. That's the plan. And so we're going to celebrate the number 50 today. I thought it'd be kind of cool. We're in New York City. A lot of dancers competed in the 50th Mid-Atlantic Regional Oireachtas Regional Championships last November, and supposed to be last April, but going to be on this coming April is the 50th World Irish Dancing Championships. So we're going to do a percussive sequence with 50 sounds. And so the plan is that we're going to start off with the loudest Irish dance move, which is the stamp, right? So for the stamp there, I kind of did a leap onto the stamp and lifted my back foot. And that's one of the things I suppose you'd say in terms of percussive improvisational dance, Sean-nós dancing is very close to the floor, as you saw earlier, but in the step dancing, you'd be looking to lift your legs. But we did say there's some tap influence here as well. So we're going to be going down and we're going to be going up, but clearly not at the same time. So now, if you were to do a regular rhythm, something like one treble and two. So you can do a regular steady rhythm, but at some point you might want to vary it, and that's what we're talking about, improvisation. So we're going to do some sequences featuring the number 7. And so anyone who's taken dance class from me before, and hi to all the dancers, all the Irish dancers who are tuning in today. We have some dancers I know from Japan and Mexico and far-flung places, not just New York City. And anyone who's taken classes with me before will know that I have officially shortened the number 7 to sev and the number 11 to lev, because you can't count quickly if the numbers have more than one syllable. There is that popular convenience store you'd see around the world. Sev, lev, that's it. So we're going to now do a sequence with 7, not 7, sev sounds. So if we just kind of tap it out first, if we go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sev, 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 aim, do, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sev, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sev. So there I did sev, sevs, and 7 sevens is 49. If you put the big stamp before it, there's your 50 sounds. And we did a bit of a pause in the middle where you can do anything you like, aim, do, 3, and we counted that in Irish, because in Irish, if you're looking to count in one syllable, aim, do, 3 is where it's at. The next number 4, Carr, has 2 syllables. So we're going to stick to aim, do, 3 in Irish. A lot of you would have learned your aim, do, 3s many years ago. Now, we're going to now put a bit of footwork on the pattern we've created. So we're in 4/4 time, and we're going to start off with the stamp. And then what I'm going to suggest is that we're going to fix the first 7, the first sev sequence, and we're going to fix the last one. And then the idea is to improvise in between. So the first one is going to be step, treble, hop, 1, 2, 3. So there I did step, step, treble, hop, 1, 2, 3. Now, if you're looking to do a more sedentary, a less active version of it, you could do a heel drop instead of the hop. Watch. Step, treble, drop, 1, 2, 3. So that's okay as well. And that would be a little bit more tappy, I guess, to do that. Are we looking to turn out and cross and get up on the toes, like Donny was talking about earlier? No, we are not. If that's the way you learned Irish dancing, that is absolutely correct for Irish dancing. But today we're doing Celtic tap. So if you insist on getting up on your toes, it's like, I can't give you a slap and I can't tell you you're wrong, but let's just say you're at the wrong party, right? So we're going to take it down, uncross your feet. My feet just turn out anyway, and I'm sure a lot of people are in the same situation, so we won't worry about it. But the plan is, we're going to now try the sequence that I said earlier, where it's like sevs. We're going to try with the stamp first, slowly, and then remember, after the 5th sev, there's a name, though 3. So I'm going to count you in. 5, 6, 7, and step, treble, and 1, 2, 3. 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 In the 3. Step, treble, and 1, 2, 3. Step, treble, and 1, 2, 3. Right. So now we've got a basic foundation, and now we're going to look at how you can vary it. And so, one option you can do is to introduce some other elements. So what if, let's say for the last one, if we did step, treble, and toe, heel, step. So there I did step, treble, and toe, heel, step, right? So that's an option to do step, treble, and 1, 2, 3. Now, another option would be to do something that you might do in like Sean-nós dancing, something like that. Or you could do something like, this is a little more fancy. There I did step, brush, hop, stamp, brush, hop, stamp. So let's just go over those versions again. I did hop. That was that one. Then I did doing 2 heel drops. And then this next one I did brush, hop, stamp. I did step. Step, brush, hop, stamp, brush, hop, stamp. And then there's other things you could do as well with toes. Or you could start with the toe. So the idea is to take, maybe as they say in the cookery shows, something you've prepared earlier, something out of maybe another dance you've learned, and to see if you can make it fit. And I'm suggesting the sev pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because it seems to work well with a reel. And you'll find that sometimes you're on the beat, sometimes you're off the beat. And so the plan is that you're mixing it up and you're varying it, and to not get too complicated. And I find, especially when you're doing like a sev sequence, it helps if you repeat some moves, like where I did 2 heel drops. So to do something that repeats within the sev, I think works well. You could do something like this as well. Now there I didn't repeat, but that was just step, treble, and toe and step. So let's go back and do what we did earlier, once without the music and then with the music, and maybe try and improvise. I'm just going to do it the regular way first. I'm going to start off with the big stamp, and then step, treble, hop, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to keep going. And the last one I'm going to do step, treble, and toe, heel, step. But if you want to try putting in something else as well, see if you can keep to the set. So here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, and in the 3. Right, we're going to try that to music. Three, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. and 3. All right, cool. Now we're going to try putting in some other moves. So we're going to start off. Let's say if we do and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3. I nearly forgot the pause that time, right? So the pause is ain, though, 3, right? So let's try that one more time. So what I'm saying to you is try and get the beginning the same as me. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then after that, let's see what happens. But try and come back in for the end. And treble and toe heel step. So here we go. We'll try it once without the music.
Niall, I'm just letting you know you have 2 minutes.
Okay, great. We're on schedule, right? So here we go. 5, 6, 7, and stamp. Window 3. All right, cool. So I just thought of another combination we could do, like a box. And then you could start the next one. Or you could do some click-throughs. All right, we're getting fancy now. All right, so let's put on the music. So we've got the stamp, we've got our first sev, we've got our last sev, and the pause is after the 5th one. Five, 6, 5, 6, 7, go. All right, great. So we're now I'm going to show you what else you can do. And another thing you can do is to mix up the rhythm. So let's say if we were to put in a pause of either 1, 2, 3 or 1 in between each 7, like this, watch. So the first pause it's going to be 1, 2, 3. The second one is 1. The third one is 1, 2, 3, and so on. So it's and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. So what I did there was I mixed up the sevs. I did a pause of 3, a pause of 1, a pause of 3, a pause of 1, a pause of 3, a pause of 1. Now we're getting complicated. If you thought we were getting complicated earlier, that is complicated. But anyway, just showing you what you can do. So let's finish off by doing a bit of a jam. We're going to let the music play a little bit, and I think we'll do at least maybe 2/8. So what we did earlier, we started off with the right foot in front, and then once you've done the right foot, what's next? Did anyone say the left foot? Because this is improv. There is no left foot. You can do whatever you want. So there's no right and left, and there's no right and wrong, but it's good to have a structure, and that's what we're about today. So here we go. We're going to try it one more time with the music. We're starting off with and then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 5 sevs, and though 3, and then we've got 2 more sevs, finishing off with, and then we'll just jam for 8 more bars. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and 8, go 3. All right, cool. I think that's good, guys. Very good. How do you feel about Celtic Tap Improv? I hope you enjoyed it and have some fun. That's the whole point. All right. Handing you back to Jessie.
There we go. Thank you, Niall O'Leary. And a big thank you to all our workshop leaders today, Danielle Enblom, Donny Golden, Darrah Carr, and Niall O'Leary. So we are now going to move into our Q&A session with the workshop leaders. So if you have a question for Danielle, Donny, Darrah, or Niall, please send it via the comment section on Facebook or YouTube now. Let's see. We have here. All right. So it looks like our first question here from Facebook is from, it's for each of you, it's for everyone. It says, can you each describe someone who was an influence on you, creatively, competitively, or otherwise when you first started dancing? So we'll give Niall a chance to catch his breath. Let's start with Danielle.
Oh gosh, on the spot. When I first started dancing, I'm actually going to jump ahead to when I was 18. I had quit Irish dancing, and that was like traumatic for me. Competitive Irish dancers don't always have a place in the world after you leave high school. And I was still playing fiddle, and I ended up in Cork doing the diploma in traditional music, and that's where I was able to meet and learn from 84-year-old at the time, Peggy McTaggart, who I didn't realize what a force of a woman she was in the history of Irish dance until I ended up writing my master's thesis years later. But she taught steps in the old style from her dancing teacher, Cormac O'Keefe. And she was a strong lady in her 80s teaching dance, and she got me back into it. So that's one of my strong points in my memories of dancing.
Great. How about Donny?
For me, well, I learned from Jimmy Irwin, who was an ex-McNiff dancer. But Cyril McNiff was a really big influence on me, and his style of dancing, who taught in the New York area for years. Just their style and their technique, I thought was just brilliant, and I wanted to copy.
Great. And Darrah.
So I have to absolutely thank and honor the memory of my first Irish dancing teacher, Tim O'Hare, who very sadly passed away in the fall, far too young. And I thank him for the legacy that he gave me and that I hope to continue to pass on to others. He's been a huge influence in the world of Irish dance, and I know so many dancers are feeling his loss and mourning his loss, but also remembering him and thanking him for all that he gave us in terms of the gift of dance.
Thank you. And Niall.
I've been fortunate also to have some great Irish dancing teachers, among them Rory O'Connor and his daughters. But I have to say the biggest influence on me by far was my first dancing teacher, Kevin Massey. And some of you might have heard of Kevin Massey because he has been written about in glowing terms by the most famous Irish dancer in the world, Michael Flatley, because Kevin Massey trained Michael Flatley when he won the World Irish Dancing Championships in the 1970s. Dennis Dennehy had started Michael Flatley off, but Kevin Massey trained him. And Kevin Massey taught me how to do really short cuts. And Michael Flatley particularly said, he told me one time, he says, Kevin Massey's cuts were so fast that you couldn't see his legs. And he was just an amazing dancer. And I learned from watching him and copying him. And that's how I learned. And sadly, he's passed away as well, but he left a great legacy.
Thank you very much for sharing. I know that each of you are also very influential dancers and teachers as well. So it's wonderful to hear who influenced you. The next question we have is for Donny. And the question is, after Riverdance 25 years ago, as you know, there was a massive explosion in Irish dancing's popularity. Where do you see the Irish dance world heading in another 25 years?
Wow.
Big question.
Another 25 years. Well, you know how Irish dancing has originally, the tradition was keeping your hands at your side. And of course, with Riverdance and that with the hands on the hips and things to that nature has progressed it. And I feel it's going to kind of keep going in that kind of direction with a lot more hand movement and a lot more rhythms being done with your feet as well as your hands. And it seems to be heading up that pattern. So I think it's going to keep going in that kind of a sense. In the performance, I think the traditional end, the competitive end, will still keep, you know, your arms. And I even think that at some point that might even they'll have competitions where they will specify that you can use your arms and interpret your dance with your body more. So I think it's going to be heading in that kind of direction.
Thank you. Actually, the next question that came up is seems related to that. This one was directed to Darrah and also to Danielle. How do you each try to honor the traditional form and movements of Irish dancing while also working in innovative approaches? Working to innovate and approach it with fresh creativity. How do you each try to honor the traditional form and movements of Irish dancing while also working to innovate and approach it with fresh creativity? So let's hear from Darrah first.
Thank you. So that's an important question. And the dancers that I work with in my company are all trained in Irish step dancing. That's the style that we do, sort of competitive-based Irish step dance. I think that's really important because it demonstrates that we're all familiar and deeply entrenched in that tradition, that very rich and important tradition, so that when we experiment with it, we're coming from a base that we fully embody and understand. Also, when we perform, we typically start or end our performances with at least one, if not more, pieces that focus on that traditional competitive Irish dancing style to kind of demonstrate the springboard that we're jumping off with some of our more experimental ModErin works. So I think it's important to honor that legacy while we are still experimenting and keep both things alive simultaneously.
Great.
And to piggyback on what Darrah said, which I agree with completely, you know, when we're working within traditions, whether it's Irish tradition or Canadian tradition or American tradition or Scottish tradition or anywhere, a lot of them are related and they're really living traditions. They're always changing. It's kind of a feature of tradition. Innovation is embedded in tradition, but that can get confusing because innovation without the roots, we lose a lot. So it's really important to know what you're working from. Like Darrah said, you don't necessarily have to be an expert, but you have to know about it and care about it and give it credit. I think citing your sources is one thing that I've heard a tap dancer say recently. Regardless of what you're doing, cite your sources, make sure you're really clear in where you're coming from and who it's coming from, because there's a real deep well that is something that connects us all in our current state of all these different things that are happening with dance. And it's important to hold on to that so that we all stay unified in some way as we explore and innovate.
Thank you. So a question from YouTube. When is the best time for a child to start dancing and what is the best way to do so? We haven't heard from you yet, Niall.
Well, I think the best time is probably as soon as you start to walk. No, I think that's a little soon. I find that you need to have your legs to be a certain length. And so some children can start at the age of 3 and they can pick it up right away. Other children, like 7 or 8 is a better age, but most children, I think, start at 4. But I think particularly a lot of adults have said to me over the years, oh, I'm too old for this. And the reality is that maybe adults mightn't have the lung power of a younger dancer, but you can dance at any age. And I had a woman in the class in Florida when I taught workshops years ago who was in her 80s dancing, and she'd a bad hip, and she'd watch the first part of the step, then she'd get up and dance it and sit down again. And then we proceeded like that. And so you can dance at any age, really. But in terms of starting, I think you need to give it a bit of time. So if you can attend like a regular class, maybe like even once a week, then you're going to make progress. If you can only attend every so often, I'd say hold off until you have the time to devote it.
Danielle had something to say there?
And I'll just add to that. So Niall is sharing from the kind of competitive step dance perspective. And then if you're outside of that, I think in addition to what Niall's saying, for small children, gross motor movement, lots of kind of creative movement, and like just instilling joy in music and dancing for young children, whether you want to send them off to Niall and Donny for competitive step dancing or send them elsewhere to go be creative movement dancers. Little ones, just inspiring and getting them moving. And then the technical stuff can come once they kind of hit a certain age.
Great. Not to put you on the spot, but I thought Edamoya did a great job of co-leading that workshop with you, Darrah. And I was curious, how old are you, Edamoya?
5.
5? Cool. Great. Good job.
Speaking of kids learning to dance.
Beautiful dancing at 5. So the next question that we have here looks like it is for Donny and Niall. How do each of you see the role of competitive Irish dancing under the World Commission in Dublin in the broader Irish dance world?
Go ahead, Niall.
Okay, well, Donny, I think that it's a huge task, obviously, these days to try and get everyone together in the competitive dancing world. And the dancing championships have got bigger because the standard of dancing keeps getting bigger. And so it's a huge challenge for the Irish Dancing Commission and all the other organisations that run competitions as well to keep everyone together. And I would love to see at some point in the future one big championship that everyone can be in. And maybe it's just a pipe dream because there's so many brilliant dancers now all over the world. But I think looking into the future, it'd be amazing to have like one event that everyone can attend and celebrate together.
Nice. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Donny?
Yeah, I agree. But, you know, as he said, like the Irish dancing is so big, like these competitions go on for like a week long, and you know what I mean? So it would be great maybe to, you know, to include every dance group or an organization and have one huge competition. But again, it's just the time limit. These, you know, a competition could go on for like 8 hours during it, you know, like 6 hours, like with so many kids in these age brackets. Even for the adjudicators to sit there sometimes, they're like, oh gosh, like that was that girl who was way back there that was one, and now I'm at, you know, 241, and is she as good as that one? So it's tough. So we got to figure a way out where we can kind of be able to adjudicate these competitions and to have the numbers at a normal sense.
Yes. Well, thank you. And thank you so much to the audience for your questions. And thank you, a big, big thank you to Danielle Enblom, Donny Golden, Darrah, Carr, and Niall O'Leary for being with us and dancing with us today. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us from your homes to teach us your wonderful dance forms. We were going to take a brief intermission before we went to our main stage performances, but we had so much fun dancing that we danced straight through our intermission period. So actually it is now 3:30 and we are going to go straight to our main stage performances. I wanted to mention that if you would like to support Irish Arts Centre, you can do so by visiting irishartscentre.org/support. And while you're there, please check out the other great programs that Irish Arts Centre has for you in the coming weeks. I also just wanted to mention that I know that our workshop participants today and all of the beautiful dancers and musicians that you're going to see in our main stage performance video contributed in a time of great turbulence and despite many challenges and setbacks. So thank you all very much for your contribution to the Irish dance community, to Irish culture and dance in New York City and beyond, because I know that we have international viewers as well. So thank you so much for being with us today, Donny, Darrah, Danielle, and Niall. Thank you. Enjoy the main stage performances.
And thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Irish Arts Centre.
Woo! Thank you.
Welcome to the 19th annual New York City Irish Dance Festival, our first ever online version. We're so happy to be able to continue this tradition and carry it forward in this new digital format. We have an exciting lineup of dancers and musicians for you to enjoy today, curated by none other than the founding artistic director, Niall O'Leary. Today's event includes dancers from the Aherne Sheehan School of Dance, the Niall O'Leary School of Irish Dance and the Niall O'Leary Dance Troupe, the Donny Golden School of Irish Dance, Danielle Enblom and Darrah Carr Dance. We also have musical performances by none other than Joanie Madden of Cherish the Ladies, accompanied by Gabriel Donohue, Pádraig Allen of the McLean Avenue Band, Jake James and Niall O'Leary. Now I'm going to leave you in the hands of our amazing Director of Education and Community Programmes, Jessie Riley. Get on your dancing shoes and enjoy the festival.
Thank you, Pauline. And thank you to all of you for joining us today. First up, we have the Aherne Sheehan School of Irish Dance. The school is co-led by Betty Sheehan, Elise Wright, and John Aherne, all former competitive dancers and TCRG certified teachers. They hold competitive and recreational classes for children and adults on the Upper East Side of New York City. Betty also regularly teaches step and Cayley dance classes with Irish Arts Center. Their performance will be followed by a special musical performance from Joanie Madden. Joanie Madden is considered one of the greatest musicians and personalities in the history of Irish music in America. She was born in the Bronx, New York, to Irish parents. She has won numerous awards as a solo artist and has been the leader of the all-female Irish music and dance troupe, Cherish the Ladies, since its inception in 1985. She is accompanied today by Gabriel Donohue, first on guitar and later on piano. Please enjoy the Aherne Sheehan School of Irish Dance, followed by Joanie Madden with Gabriel Donohue.
1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joanie Madden and the Aherne Sheehan School of Irish Dance. Next up, we have the Niall O'Leary School of Irish Dance. Niall O'Leary is a registered teacher and adjudicator with the World Irish Dancing Commission based in Dublin, Ireland. Niall founded his school in Dublin in 1995 and established it in New York in 1996. He now holds classes for children and adults in Manhattan, Queens, and Staten Island. The school has been featured on NBC TV, Fox 5, CBS Radio, The New York Times, The Daily News, The Irish Echo, Irish Central, and Fuji TV, Japan. For the last 6 years, they have taken part in the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade on Fifth Avenue. Their performance will be followed by a music performance from Jake James on fiddle. Jake James is a 2-time All-Ireland fiddle champion, ballroom player, and dancer from Queens, New York. Jake has also been studying Irish dance with Niall O'Leary since the age of 3. He has performed with several noted Irish traditional groups all over the United States, Canada, Ireland, and Japan. Please enjoy Niall O'Leary School of Dance and Jake James.
Hi. Oh, sorry. No handshakes anymore. My name is Niall O'Leary. You might know me as an adjudicator. Or maybe you've seen me play the accordion. Or maybe you've seen me play the spoons. Or maybe you've seen me dancing. Or maybe you've just never heard of me. Anyway, I want to tell you about Irish dance, the best dance for physical distancing. Irish dance is good for your health, it's good for your mind, it's good for your heart, it's good for your soul. I want to challenge you to dance every day. Maybe learn a new move, learn a new step, learn a new dance. If you dance every day, you're going to get lighter, you're going to get fitter, you're going to get thinner, and you're going to get younger. So let's all dance the jig, or the reel, or the slip jig, or the hornpipe. Let's all Irish dance.
Thank you, Jake James and the Niall O'Leary School of Dance. Next up, we have a journey through percussive dance with Danielle Enblom. Danielle Enblom grew up dancing competitively in Irish dance and studying ballet and modern in Minneapolis, Minnesota. She is first and foremost an Irish step dancer and Sean-nós dancer. She is notably influenced by Peggy McTaggart from County Cork, a direct component of the 19th century Cork dancing masters and Sean-nós style, Cormac O'Shea of Dublin, and Kieran Jordan of Boston. Her performance work explores and integrates concepts of dance, tradition, and innovation. She's an accomplished researcher and scholar holding a diploma in traditional Irish music from the University County Cork and an MA in ethnochoreology, the historic study of dance, from the Trolley Institute of Technology. Danielle will be followed by another special music performance from Joanie Madden on whistle, accompanied by Gabriel Donohue on guitar. Please enjoy Danielle Enblom and Joanie Madden with Gabriel Donohue.
Hi there, Danielle Enblom here, and I've actually brought you down to my basement, which happens to be the one place in this pandemic where I can make as much noise as I want whenever I want. And if you haven't noticed, I'm also crooked, because this is the way I like to set up my camera so that you can see as much of me as possible, as close as possible, while still being horizontal. So if you want to, if it bugs you can tilt your head a little bit, but I'm gonna be like this. So, I'd like to take you on a journey of rhythm through Ireland, over to Scotland, and then bringing us over to this side of the pond to Canada and Appalachia. So we're going to start with this move that is very common in Sean-nós dancing from Connemara, but it's also known as pitter-patter commonly in Appalachian flat-footing and clogging. Now you can do this down on your heels, up on your toes, and if you want to swing it, you can. Up on your toes, and down on your heels. Now in Connemara, we add a stamp. And play with the pitter-patters and the stamps. Which we modern Irish dancers know well, we might head to Clare, where their common step has quite a bit of battering, and looks like this. Now in Roscommon they like to batter as well. But they throw a stamp and a little jump and a treble together when they do their set dancing, and it comes out like this. I'm adding the pause for fun. Now, in modern Irish step dancing, we know we cross our feet over and turn them out, which is a remnant of the old Italian and French dancing masters who actually created these positions and arm positions to go along with them with the turned out feet to help with balance. And the Irish dancing masters held on to some of that tradition. But the old dancing masters weren't quite as crossed over and turned out as the dancers are today. So in County Cork, you might have had a step that looked like this. And if you go to County Kerry, things are a lot more ankly there, and you might have had a step that looked like this. And yes, they moved their arms. That came later. But if you head up to Scotland, they actually kept their arms at their sides. and didn't cross over or turn out much at all. And the Scottish basic step, which we know from Cape Breton dancers, was something like this. And if you want to add a little fun extra step, you can. Now in Scotland, they also dance strap space, which, if you head to Appalachia, the American region, and bring this strap spay down into your heels, turns into the Appalachian Tennessee walking step. Which brings us back to pitter patter. In Appalachia, we have this pitter patter move, and the Tennessee walking step, which I will break down for you now. It is a chug with the toe and a heel. And when you put them all together, you get. And if you mix them up, you can play around with the rhythm of it. And you can do things like this. So there you go. There's a little journey through percussive dance from the Italian Renaissance. Did I talk about the Italian Renaissance? I think I did a bit. All the way to Appalachia, and we didn't even get to tap or French Canadian step dancing or Ottawa Valley step dancing, but I suppose that's for another day. Take care and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thank you, Joanie Madden and Danielle Enblom. Next up, we have the Donny Golden School of Irish Dance. Donny Golden was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. He became a North American step dancing champion and the first American to place in the All-Ireland and World competitions. He has traveled the globe performing and adjudicating in Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia, and throughout North America. He has performed on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Late Night with Conan O'Brien, The Late Show with David Letterman, and Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. He has choreographed shows with his dance troupe in Radio City Music Hall and Carnegie Hall, and developed dance scenes for major motion pictures like The Devil's Own. In 1995, President Clinton awarded Donny the National Heritage Award for his invaluable contributions to the promotion, preservation, and development of Irish dancing throughout the world. He has trained over 1,000 children in the art of Irish step dancing, including the original star of Riverdance, Jean Butler, and has been teaching in the New York City area for nearly 50 years. The school's performance will be followed by another musical performance from Jake James on fiddle, this time joined by Padraig Allen of the McLean Avenue Band on guitar. Please enjoy Donny Golden School of Irish Dance, followed by Jake James and Padraig Allen. Thank you to Jake James and Padraig Allen and the Donny Golden School of Irish Dance. Next up, we have Darrah Carr Dance. Darrah Carr Dance is a Bessie Award-nominated professional Irish dance company specializing in ModErin, a unique blend of traditional Irish step and contemporary modern dance. Their performance highlights include a guest appearance with the New York Pops at Carnegie Hall, a featured spot on NBC's The Today Show, and the Yates Project at the Irish Repertory Theatre. The company has appeared nationally at venues such as Jacob's Pillow, Mass Mocha, and The Yard, and toured to Canada and Ireland. They have held an annual season at Irish Arts Centre since 2008. Artistic director, Darrah Carr, has been active for over 15 years in both the Irish and modern dance communities as a choreographer, dancer, educator, scholar, and writer. She is the recipient of numerous awards for her contribution to dance and Irish culture, including being the 2020 Artist Honoree for Irish Arts Centre's yearly Show Your Love celebration. Darrah Carr Dance's performance will be followed by another special music performance from Joanie Madden on whistle, this time accompanied by Gabriel Donohue on piano. Please enjoy Darrah Carr Dance, followed by Joanie Madden with Gabriel Donohue. Thank you to Joanie Madden, Gabriel Donohue, and Darrah Carr Dance. Our final performance of the day is the Niall O'Leary Irish Dance Troupe. You may have seen Niall earlier in the day with the Niall O'Leary School of Irish Dance Performances. Niall is the longtime artistic director of the Irish Arts Centre Dance Festival. He is a former All-Ireland and World Champion and became an accredited Irish dance instructor in 1994. In 1996, he put together and choreographed the first ever multinational team to compete in the World Irish Dance Championships. Niall O'Leary performs regularly as a solo artist with acts such as Mick Maloney's Green Fields of America, Natalie McMaster, Cherish the Ladies, The Prodigals, and the Andy Cooney Band. He is also a frequent dance partner with Darrah Carr. The Niall O'Leary Dance Troupe's performance will be followed by a final musical performance from Jake James on fiddle, Padraig Allen on guitar, and Niall O'Leary on accordion and spoons. We encourage you to get up and dance with us wherever you may be. Please enjoy the Niall O'Leary Dance Troupe, followed by Jake James, Padraig Allen, and Niall O'Leary. much for joining us for Irish Arts Centre's 19th annual NYC Irish Dance Festival, our first ever online edition. A special thank you to our artistic director, Niall O'Leary, our video editor, Thomas Rowley, the Irish Arts Centre staff, and to all of the wonderful dancers and musicians that contributed to today's event. I know that our featured artists found a way to participate despite many challenges and setbacks. We appreciate your hard work and are inspired by your love and commitment to dance, music, Irish culture, and community. Today's event included dancers from the Aherne Sheehan School of Irish Dance, the Niall O'Leary School of Irish Dance and the Niall O'Leary Dance Troupe, the Donny Golden School of Irish Dance, Danielle Enblom, and Darrah Carr Dance. We had musical performances from Joanie Madden of Cherish the Ladies, Padraig Allen of the McLean Avenue Band, Jake James, and Niall O'Leary. If you would like to support Irish Arts Centre, you can do so by visiting irishartscentre.org/support. And while you're there, be sure to check out our future programs that we have running for you in the coming weeks. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day and keep dancing.